What's up, everyone? Welcome. It's time to talk some NFL DFS picks, strategies, and lineup advice for Week 1 of the 2021 NFL season. My name is Chris Rooney. I'm an NFL writer here at OccupyFantasy.com for you, and we are going to be talking about some wide receivers and tight ends for the DraftKings main slate here in Week 1. Before we do that, first make sure you're subscribed to the channel below. If you buy a channel membership, you'll also get access to our Discord, where we have tons of conversations about every slate for every sport that's available across the DFS industry. We'd love to see you in there. First thing you see on the screen here is I actually do have the very first iteration of the Occupy model for the NFL season. It's now live on the website. It'll be pushed shortly here for everybody to look at. We dive into kind of our rankings for all the players on FanDuel and DraftKings for the Sunday main slate. Let's talk through some of the top options that everyone's going to be looking at as they kick off their NFL DFS season. So we have the NFL contest here on DraftKings available. And Davante Adams is the most expensive wide receiver on the slate. Should be no surprise. Davante Adams coming in at $8,300 here in a matchup in the 4 p.m. Eastern window against the New Orleans Saints on the road. Adams, frankly, kind of served as Green Bay's goal line back in the 2020 season. Had 28 targets inside the 20, which would be the red zone, 14 touchdowns, compared to just 9 red zone touchdowns for their first running back, Aaron Jones, in the 2020 season. We'll see if Aaron Rodgers continues to prefer to send Adams out, kind of run a little drag route into the end zone and catch a touchdown pass once or twice a game. Seemed to be one of their more preferred strategies throughout the 2020 season. Let's see if they stick with what works for them here as they enter the 2021 season. I'd be highly surprised if they went any other direction here. Going back to our model, have him pulled up and some of the other wide receivers that we're actually looking forward to play this week. You see here for these top 3 receivers here that I'm going to talk about in this video that we actually have Davante Adams as the as the lowest ranked player in this group in our model as of Wednesday evening, but we actually have him projected for 9.2 targets against the Saints. That's going to lead the Green Bay Packers in this matchup. Certainly an intriguing play when we can project a pretty safe volume of 9 to 10 targets from Aaron Rodgers for Davante Adams. And we also have Tyreek Hill going into a big game against the Cleveland Browns. This is a rematch of the divisional round from last January. A game where Tyreek Hill saw 10 targets overall against the Cleveland Browns, even though it was a little on the colder side, a little more on the windier side that afternoon in Kansas City, Missouri. So going to be a little bit of a nicer day here in Kansas City for their home opener to kick off the season. And we think that Tyreek will be just as involved as he was before, maybe even more so, because we're hoping to see Patrick Mahomes play for more than the 2.5 quarters that he gave us in that week, or in that divisional week playoff game that go around here. So that's Tyreek here. He's going to be the wide receiver 1 for Kansas City. Should be no surprise. His biggest threat will be a player we'll talk about in a minute when we shift over to the tight ends. Calvin Ridley faces the secondary that was the absolute worst against wide receiver 1s throughout the entirety of the 2020 season. If you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan, you probably knew that already from watching your team week in and week out. No Julio Jones anymore, so is Calvin Ridley going to eat up some of the extra opportunity vacated without Julio out there? I think we saw him do that throughout several games in the 2020 campaign that they did not have Julio available to them, but there is another wrinkle to that offense that'll make things a little more interesting here as we enter the 2021 season, which is a good segue in time for us to talk a little bit about the tight ends that we have available to us on this slate. Really think there's 2 guys that everyone's going to be concentrating on, especially in lowest contests this week. First one is Tyreek Hill's teammate, Travis Kelce, $8,300 on DraftKings. By far the most expensive tight end on the slate, but probably worth it. We think he's going to see around 9 targets in our model. He also had 10 targets in that playoff game against the Browns back in January, so don't think there's much of a mystery here. Patrick Mahomes is going to target each of his 2 favorite receivers roughly 50% of the time, each and every week that they are healthy, until we learn otherwise, until we learn that they've tried something new here. We don't have that information available to us yet. We think that they're still going to be the primary weapons. Feel comfortable using Travis Kelce in Week 1 NFL DFS on DraftKings or wherever you play. He's going to be just a very solid option considering the opportunity he is projected to receive by basically anyone who tries to project this stuff. The other guy is obviously Calvin Ridley's new teammate, Kyle Pitts. At a per-game level, Julio Jones vacates an opportunity where he saw about 25% of the targets in this offense in the 2020 season. We saw right away in the one lone preseason game that Kyle Pitts actually took the field that they schemed up a play for him to immediately get the ball in his hands and get in the open field and try to make some plays. That seems like a harbinger of what's to come throughout the 2021 season. They're going to want to make sure that they justify to their fan base and everybody that's invested in the Atlanta Falcons that taking Kyle Pitts with a top 5 pick in the NFL draft, top 4 pick in the NFL draft this past spring was well worth it. So definitely expect Kyle Pitts to have a strong opening game. They want to make sure that he plays well. We anticipate he'll get around 6 to 7 targets in this matchup in our model. So definitely think between he and Kelce, they will carry the majority of, they will be on the majority of rosters across the DFS industry this weekend coming up. So definitely feel comfortable using the rookie. Don't buy into some of the talk out there that he's just a tight end, a glorified tight end. They're going to have him lined up as a receiver at times. They're going to work him as a receiver when it makes sense to do so. So he's got a lot more upside than just your traditional tight end. And we're excited to see what happens here. Just $4,400 this week on DraftKings. May never be this low again if things really pop off for Kyle Pitts in the way that we expect them to. So, folks, for more information, you're going to want to read the NFL Daily Plug, which we will post on Friday afternoon on OccupyFantasy.com for Sunday's main slate action. Premium membership to OccupyFantasy.com is available for as low as just $1.04 a week. If you buy an annual subscription for both the website and our lineup builder, that'll help you use the Occupy model that I showed you to its fullest capability. Really kind of work that tool, make sure that everything that you're trying to accomplish, if you're a large-scale multi-entry player in tournaments, goes in your favor. That's what we aim to do here. So we appreciate you guys watching. Don't miss out. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Good luck this weekend.